Hi, my name is Tasha Borozny. I'm a full-time in-house editor at Magic Production Group. To be technical, my title is video editor and graphics wizard. And that's just because when I started here, my coworker asked, what do you want your title to be? And I'd said, oh, how about a wizard? Or maybe a Jedi. And he responded, of course, well, why don't we just put nerd on your business card? And I said, okay. And then it came back without nerd, but it still says graphics wizard on there, so I'll take that. In college, my major was called time-based media, and then as my minor, I was a graphic designer. When I first graduated from college, I was doing mostly live-action editing, and that was before I was with Magic Production Group. When I got here, I find myself doing mostly motion graphics. A lot of what we do is for internal use and show openers, so a lot of it is just really dependent on typography and just motion type, things like that. So it is a lot of motion graphics. My background in communication design or graphic design has come in handy a lot, just knowing what colors are going to clash in a good way or a bad way, and knowing how to arrange type on a page, especially when type is moving. You want to make sure you can always have legibility if the actual type is meant to be read, or to know if it's just a design element and what it actually says isn't important. That's going to decide what the font is going to be and the layout and the movement. In terms of the software that we use at Magic Production Group, we use Photoshop. That might be to draw out storyboards or create assets that are later going to be imported into After Effects. Depending on what the client wants, sometimes the workflow may change in terms of, do we jump into After Effects first, or do we do kind of a rough concept in Final Cut or Premiere? So we also use After Effects, Premiere Pro, Final Cut 7, and Illustrator. In terms of workflow, we try to establish a color palette, maybe identify things that the company may be conscious or unconscious of, like what's a typeface that is really going to convey your company, and to see if they've seen anything that inspires them, if they want their video to be along something, and try to create a small sample video that can at least we can show them and we can make sure we're going in the right direction. When you're dealing with a client, you definitely, on both sides, don't want to be doing something that isn't going to be used if you can avoid it.
Let's see, so we got this from the client, and what it looks like.
The trade shows and conventions that we're usually making videos for, they go on for more than one day. So there may be several day kickoff videos, several speaker intro videos, and to just have that solidarity that this is, first of all, one company and one look and more or less one message. Unity is, in terms of the design, is really important. So if we come up with a look or a color palette, that is something that is carried through every video as much as we can. This industry is really different than other arts. One of the major reasons is because it's technology based. You have to keep yourself current in order to keep yourself employable, for one thing, and just relevant, and just so you can be out there constantly. If you want to keep pushing forward, you got to know what people are talking about and how to do what they're asking for. In my opinion, what it takes to be good in this business is a lot of patience. You have to understand that you're working for someone else, and that might mean what you think looks great isn't what they had envisioned. There might be a lot of revisions that you have to do. And besides that, you're editing video, you're having to look at the same thing over and over and over again. And if that bothers you, and if the reward of like a 2-minute video after weeks or however long of work isn't enough, then this probably isn't the right industry. But if you do like to see something come to life, then it's great. Something that moves, it's a really different art form than, in my opinion, most other art forms, just because it's got a lot of different dimension and it's got life.